screen view because I know Misty goes crazy when it's vertical, and I'm going to be dropping a video. So I figured if I'm going to go live like this, I might as well go horizontal so it fits your screen so you guys get to see full bore Betty. Hey y'all, it's nice to see you. We're going to go over a few things. It's going to be kind of an informal type of live. We're going to go through some emails. I did it on the crime stories the other day, but we're talking about theories and stuff like that. And so I've already been on live on TikTok going over some information, and I'll be dropping that video after this one in about 2 hours or so after this one ends, so you guys can see what I said over there on TikTok. I hope everybody's having a great Thursday. I'm drinking my latte. It's almost out, but I got some water next to me, so I'm good to go. Happy Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday. So once we get some more people in here, I will go over, I gotta remember the camera's over here, so I gotta talk to you guys over here. Otherwise, I'm not talking to you because I look at myself in the screen and it doesn't look like I'm talking at you. But I like to talk. I like to talk at you. Hey, Turtle Madness. It's nice to see you, my love. I hope everything's going well for you this Thursday. We're almost to Friday. This week flew by. I've been so busy. I didn't know which way I was up and which way was down. It's been just an absolutely insane. Hey guys, I see you guys starting to come in. Good morning. You guys get Bedhead Betty. Yay! Samurai, it's nice to see you this morning. Good morning, love. Good morning. Hey guys, I see more people coming in. It's nice to see you. We'll get started here shortly. Wanted to chat about a few things. Hey. So one of the things is we're obviously covering a story. Hey, excited, buying a boat today. Well, congratulations, Turtle Madness. It's I have to say the best day in a boat home owner's best days of the day they purchase and the day they sell. Sorry, I've been around water a lot. I've had so many boats over the years. K-Cam, it's nice to see you. Brown Chicken, good morning. It's nice to see you all this morning. You guys get Bedhead Betty. I've been up quite a bit, but I've been stuck on lives all day. So far today, this is what you guys get. You guys got a latte, teeth brushed, and hair brushed. That's about what you guys get today. It's going to be one of them days. Hey, Gypsy. Hey, Angela. It's nice to see you. Samantha, good morning. Good morning, guys. It's nice to see you this morning. Crispy Dandy. Hey. Due to the level of trolling on this channel, I want to remind everybody, please do not be a Richard. We have a zero tolerance policy for idiots here. So if you're not an idiot, we love you to stay. If you're an idiot, we ask you to leave. Only you can decide whether you're an idiot or not an idiot. Right? So in an effort to keep the trolls at bay, we decided to implement a 20-minute subscriber for them. Because, once they have to create new accounts. So if they want to be a gnat, we'll swat them with the fly swatter and make them recreate. So they will run out of it again. They will run out of troll accounts eventually. It's just knocking them out of the park. So it's a privilege to be here in this chat. It's not a right. I want to make sure that is crystal clear for everybody out there on the streets of YouTube. Bullhorn Betty does not bode with whatever society is telling me I have to do. So if society is telling me that I've got to run my channel and let a bunch of idiots sit here and spew their venom on my channel or my platform, you are mistaken. I do not have to do that. I will not do that. I will not subject myself to it, nor will I subject my audience to it. So we have a zero tolerance policy. If you can't follow the rules, we don't care whether you watch or don't watch. We don't care. We're here for the people that want to be here, not for the ones that want to sit and stir up crap. So if anybody has a problem with my rules, take it up with me, and I can guarantee where I'm going to tell you to go. Just saying. So we're back. We've got a lot of stuff. The entire Chris and Katie Proudfoot case is falling apart. Okay, their story, their lies, they are coming to an end. We haven't heard from Chris or Katie since this bombshell revelation, the bombshell revelations that they've been lying to us about. Chris and Katie have been lying to us from the beginning. They have been lying to us from the beginning with their whole entire story, and they just expected us to take it. You know, they expected us to not really care about a medically needy boy. That's what they were counting on. I want everybody here to understand. Chris and Katie were counting on us not giving a crap, like they didn't give a crap about this boy. They truly did. They thought that they would come out here. They thought they were going to keep it contained. They wanted to keep this contained. You could tell that Chris's motivation at the very, very, very beginning of this was to contain it. Contain. Not advocate. Damage control and contain. You could see it in literally the first hours of Chris being on scene, where he's telling the news crews not to record his home. Not to record his home. Giving them direction, keep it on the news, telling them what they can do and how to do their job, even though he has never reported the news a day in his life. So he was trying to contain the information early on. That was a clear indicator of containment. We have him, obviously speaking on behalf of Katie. She tried to speak, but she kept screwing up. And that's how it is. She's got a guilty mind. It's hard for her to keep it straight. Her mind's running a mile a minute. She's asking herself, am I acting right? Am I keeping, am I moving right? She's got to be telling herself all these things. She can't do it all. She can't do it all. She can't walk, chew gum, and tap her head, and neither can I. So none of their stories made sense. Sebastian allegedly walked out of the house. There's no evidence. We're finding out, the gravity of the search, the dogs and everything like that. And we're learning that they did not have a hit around the house. They didn't have a hit until they were at the construction site, which is a little weird for me, because how did he get to the construction site without leaving his scent? It doesn't make sense. Some people have thought that it had something to do with, them staging the area, possibly staging the area. So I figured we'd go over. We are getting some comments back from people. I've went through a few of them this morning. There's even more coming in. So we did get the mysterious car resolved. The mysterious car, in my opinion, appears to have a very unique shape back end. And that unique shape back end seems to complement the Infinity line of cars. We learned from the neighbors that Katie's car is in the garage. Katie got home from the Texas Roadhouse. She pulled her car in the garage. They have not seen that car move from that garage since. So there's only one other person that I know has an Infinity. I mean, maybe there's multiple kids that have Infinities in the family. I'm interested in finding out if Michelle or Dara or anybody else in their immediate friends and family, their small, immediately friends and family circle. I keep wondering how many other of them, how many other ones have an Infinity. That's what I'd like to know. So we got some possibilities here. We're going to go through some of those. Let me find the ones I was working on. These three. So Magic Matt, he is the one that sent me the car, and we did that live. I was getting ready to go to bed, and we did an impromptu, like immediate live, and I was freaking out because the butt end looked like it was matching. And so we had some stuff. So I started working with images. People were helping me. We were trying to get the images, trying to get the right make and model of the vehicle. And then we started to overlay that in real time so everybody could help and watch and whatnot. And so Magic Matt is the one that sent me that image of the Infinity. And I went and looked at the picture and realized it matched. Now, Yeah, it's Magic Matt. He comes in here. He's got his wife. His wife is Diane, and she's also a subscriber in here as well. And so he writes here, he says, I never thought he was on the crane at 5:15. Could never happen. This is the title of this is Proudfoot back at work 5:15. I never thought he was on the scene or on the crane at 5:15. Let me put it this way. I get my vision's awful. And of course it's going to keep running off, so never mind. It's not going to even help me that way either. First is a construction site on hospital grounds. Grounds is locked up, and only a foreman can unlock the property. So the earliest he could have been on the crane is 6:30 to 6:45. So his story of one earbud in for his phone and one earbud in for his radio couldn't have happened until 6 when KP called. He, in my opinion, couldn't be doing any of that. Well, here's the deal, Magic Matt, is those cranes have all types of recordings in them. I don't know whether this one was stocked with audio and visual, like a camera and mic inside that cab of that crane. But some of these cranes can even tell when you're sitting down. They can tell when you're on the seat, when you sit in that seat. And these cranes are recording all of this data that it's doing, the movements. From my understanding, it records all that. It has a recorder. It can record exactly the movements you made, exactly what you did, all of this stuff. I think it's a requirement because they're dealing with huge construction, and God forbid if something breaks or there's a loss of life, they have to go and be able to pull that data. We heard from the PIs that Chris Proudfoot was at work at 5:15, and it had been confirmed and corroborated. So I don't know how they confirmed and corroborated that, but there is PIs at the time that actually lived in Tennessee, and it would be my opinion that one of them visited this site and either spoke to someone or someone was willing to speak with them over the phone. Either way, they were able to confirm that he was at work at 5:15. So I'm going to trust that, we can assume he wasn't, but I think that with them putting a confirmation behind the 5:15, I think that they have a little more than his word on that he was there at 5:15. Just my opinion. Again, I'm not the PIs. I don't know what they did. I don't know how they did it. This is from Bigger. Bigger's in our chat. Bigger comes here. I communicate with Bigger also on Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter in a little bit. I posted on there, but I've got to go back and read. I know I got a couple conversations going. So if you guys are conversating with me through Twitter, bear with me. I'm getting there. I've been going through. I got hundreds of emails a day I got to read. Okay, and I'm thankful to read them because it's helping me get perspective. Especially the topics. So this is related to Sebastian. This is phase 1. So this is the theory. This is the theory from Bigger. KP left Texas Roadhouse with Sebastian, supposedly going home. This is proven. On the way, she stopped somewhere secluded near Worsham's shop and transferred Sebastian into Grandma's car. Owner of the shop did say he believes the Bowersox car was spotted in the area. Then KP headed back home to put garbage out and switch outside garage lights out. Now, I think this, just to let you know, Bigger, I think this is way too involved for my palate. This is something, I'm just saying, I'm reading, but this is too far-fetched for me. I can already tell you this is too, I don't see them doing all of this. But, without the camera seeing them. I mean, you can't change without the cameras. There would have been cameras from the neighbors seeing them. But we'll see. Which you may have noticed in Nancy Grace the interview, KP said all the lights were out, but CP contradicted her by saying lights were never switched off. Actually, he might be accurate about that. Lights were never switched off because somebody thinks that somebody pulled the main breaker in that house that night. Which would be funny because he clearly says never switched off. So there's a lot in here I'm with you on, Bigger. It's just the whole, but I don't know. You know, I could be way off base. I could be way off base. You could be spot on. I don't know. This is just my opinion. Phase 2. Grandma then took Sebastian somewhere secluded, close to Mississippi River, not far from Yogi Bear. Hence the reason they moved the RV there so CP could keep an eye on the dump site. Phase 3. CP gets Sebastian from Grandma and removes shoes so he can't run away in the woods, then gives them to Grandma in a plastic bag, and she has no DNA on them. She makes her way back while CP takes care of Sebastian. Timeline fits for CP to meet Grandma and do the dirty. Yes, I agree, but I don't think CP and Grandma did the dirty. I think Katie did. Because why is she freaking out and keeping on a 3-hour conversation at 9:43 at night? It seems to me that KP's mom and CP's mom and CP would have arrived later, after the deed, according to what we know now, as fact now. Just my opinion. And take it a slow drive back to work. Grandma then goes to meet KP. I do believe he came there earlier and got Sebastian and took the slow ride back to work. I believe he's further than he is now that I see who's all involved. Probably mystery car. Passes shoe to KP. The shoes, I don't think they intentionally took off of him. I think they forgot to put them on. So I do believe in part in some of this. Let me finish reading this so I read the whole thing, so the whole thing's out there for him. Grandma then goes to meet KP, probably mystery car, passes shoe to KP, takes them back home. Flashlight video. Grandma then stops at the retention pond, washes the plastic bag, dog scent, then disposes it in the container. Hence, dump searches looking for evidence. Case. So I believe some of this, just not the far-fetchedness. Like some of this, like really does make sense. Like the plastic bag, the rinsing off, the dog scent. That might be enough to trigger that. Something seemingly looking like garbage that they pulled out of that retaining pond, like a plastic bag, may have been what set the dog into that pond, but they didn't know it. I don't know. It's interesting. Thank you, Bigger, for participating. I appreciate it. You always have a good thought process. I like the way your brain works. I feel like this is much simpler. I think the shoes really are the mistake. That's just my feeling. Now I don't know. That's why I went ahead and read his as well. So this is from J.E. This is about her theory related to Sebastian. I also forgot to mention my first email is the reason for the scent of Sebastian at the construction is that he was there and made to walk around. In fact, when the neighbors mentioned that her son was on the deck that night and noticed 2 people with flashlights, she said her son said it looked like an adult and a younger person with a flashlight. So a total of 2 people behind their house at the construction site. I believe it to be Chris and Sebastian. I believe Chris has buried him there, but then moved him once Seth was told him about the certified dogs, which is why it took Chris over a week to return Seth's call. Again, Chris is missing for 17 hours. This child is not in Hendersonville, Tennessee. But the way Chris handles a beaten up, bloody inside of a crack of his thumb, he is using a shovel to dig deep, deep. Ooh. I don't know where. I know when the different sightings of people saying they saw Sebastian wasn't true, I knew Chris will pay people to lie. I believe he is paying people to lie. I don't know. I can tell you that he only gave one $500 donation, and it went to Clue. It was for billboards, of course. Of course. And this is the first part of that. I'll read this one, and this is probably, and then I'll go and read some chat questions. I strongly feel Chris Proudfoot was in Sebastian's room that night. I also feel Chris moved Sebastian's body at least twice. When Chris approached Seth with the threatening behavior with his leg between Seth's legs saying we wanted to work with Seth, I felt Chris was just pretending. That was Chris's way of getting information out of Seth, and he did. When Seth left the message on Chris's voicemail informing him about the certified dog to help look for Sebastian, yet Chris never called Seth back for a week or longer. Well, I felt then Chris was making his next move. RO covered up his tracks, or covered up his tracks. I felt he then moved Sebastian's body again when he came up missing for the 17 hours. I do think Sebastian was at the construction site, but was moved by vehicle. I strongly feel Chris is the one who is running that house. Katie does everything Chris tells her to do. That's why her story has changed so often. Unfortunately, because she doesn't have a backbone to tell the police what she knows, she's been thrown in front of a bus by Chris and his wicked mom and stepdad. I also feel for Chris to rid of Sebastian. He was doing the unthinkable to this boy. He hid Sebastian to silence him. Same thing with Madeline Soto's case. I still feel the construction site should be searched with certified dogs. Check with Seth Rogers to get a pair of Sebastian's shoes, etc. I also feel that when the Bowersox went to Alaska somewhere along the way, Sebastian's clothes were trashed somewhere. Their entire situation with Sebastian breaks my heart. I relocated from I don't want to tell that's sir Texas 2 years ago. Texas don't play. Neither does Florida. Katie and Chris would have been locked up due to all the lies they have told, as well as all the inconsistent stories and marks on Chris's arms. Scratches would have been a forensic odontologist or orthodontist. I think it's maybe it's an orthodontist. And that house, after Katie left, it would have been closed off, no entry, off limits until police went in to investigate, do forensics in Sebastian's room, as well as parts of the other parts of the house, including the garage. Vehicles there and camper. Seth and TBI came into the house and tore up Sebastian's room, took items of Sebastian's like his Switch and game and other items. They have not given it back, which is not good. TBI are friends with Chris and his mom, etc. I don't think TBI is, but definitely Hendersonville police and some Sumner County. This case have really fallen through the cracks. I go along to get along. A real gang is real. So is hush money. I'm sorry to say. Thank you for all you do. God bless and protect, etc. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. But you guys got the. We definitely know that this 17-hour disappearing act means something. I don't know what it means just yet. We know it's definitely nefarious. I mean, we have an idea what it means. Don't get me wrong. We have an idea of what it means, but we don't know what it means. We don't have anything guiding us. Is this just him disposing of evidence? Could he have just went there and just like, I can't deal with it anymore, I need a slave? We don't know. We don't know. We've got to work through it. We don't have enough information. We've got a lot of stuff that we need to close up. What we did find out is, we went from having literally no information about this case to having a whole host of information about this case in a very short amount of time. This case for social media has broken open a little bit, and it's really showing us that Chris and Katie have been lying to us from the beginning. Their story hasn't been right. We've known their story hasn't been right. We still believe that they were going to try to tell us the truth, or at least something. Their story is a freaking lie. It was set up to hide a crime. It was set up to hide a crime. Katie was the only one in the house with her son. Her son disappeared. He did not walk out the front door. If he had walked out the front door, the neighbors would have captured it on their Ring doorbell camera. The only Ring doorbell camera footage that anything was captured on that night was two people with flashlights going to an unidentified car or vehicle. I'm going to say vehicle because I think it's an SUV, which I call my SUV a car. I used to call it a truck, and everybody's like, it's not a truck, it's a car. And I'm like, no, it's not a car, it's an SUV. It's something, but it's definitely, I call it a truck. I used to call it a truck. Now I call it a car. So it's an SUV. It looks like an SUV. You can see the glaze on the back window indicating it's an SUV. Whatever's parked there is an SUV parked there, and it's not a small SUV. It's a larger SUV body that's parked in that spot. While we can't make it out conclusively, it has a lot of identifying marks with the little bit of lighting we did have. And those identifying marks happen to match the back end of an Infiniti SUV perfectly, like a glove. Like, yeah. So we have that going on. Oh. So it's definitely, it looks like it's definitely an infinity back. Now, does that mean it's Kathy or Katie's? I don't know. In the house that excuse me. In that house, after Katie left, it would have been closed. No entry, until the forensic came in, as well as other parts of the house, including the camper and garage. Did I read the rest of it? TBI, our friends. Yeah, I read that. Get along, gang. So I did read all of this. Okay, well, thank you so much for participating in that. And I think that's just about it. That's really all I have for right now. Don't yawn, Betty. Yawns are contagious. I yawned. Oh, I yawn all the time. And you're making me yawn now. Why did you do that? Has anyone here seen the first interview where KP nudged CP with her elbow? Yes. We need to go back and review that. We will. We will next week. Okay, I got 4 days to fill up with content next week, so we'll go back and review some of the stuff. All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to go. We're going to come back later this afternoon with a live from the computer where I can open up the phone lines. I'm going to try to open up the phone lines and chat with you. I may wait until this evening. I'm not sure. We'll see how it all works out, but I will be dropping a video. It's a little over an hour, and we'll premiere that. And what time is it? It is 8:30, so we'll premiere that at probably 10:30 or 11. That will be premiered, and it was a pre-record from TikTok. I'll be working on all my channels today, so if you guys aren't over on my Facebook, if you're not over on the crime stories on my YouTube, I got a smaller YouTube crime stories channel, go over there and sub them up. We're going to be getting out. Oh, I see I got a super something here. Let me pull you up here. Give me just a second so I can say thank you. Aw. So it's Phil. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil. God bless you. God bless you. So we'll be coming back today. Bring your popcorn. Yeah. I expect I'm going to be getting a good idea of what's going on in here. We got some breaking news with Madeline Soto. Before you guys leave, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Madeline Soto disappeared on the same day that Sebastian Rogers did. And she was found like on March 1st. Sebastian Rogers still hasn't been found. Her mom's boyfriend is behind bars right now. There was some very damaging, there was about 1,000 pages. There was a major doc dump yesterday or the day before. And it was almost 1,000 pages, a little over 900 some odd pages of documents obtained. And some of the stuff was pretty alarming, to say the least. I'm just going to read this article. I've still got to go over the documents and pillar through and see if what's in them. But Madeline was first reported missing on the morning of February 26th after she didn't make it to school. We did find out one of my other theories on how she lost her life was accurate. So it is homicide by strangulation. Homicide by strangulation. And if you guys recall, I told you that it would most likely be strangulation. It would most likely be something that did not produce blood, and the only thing, or a loud noise, and the only thing that I could figure out that wouldn't produce blood or a loud noise is strangulation. So she did lose her life that way. She didn't make it to school that morning. Investigators determined, however, that she was never actually dropped off at the school, and it was likely that she was already deceased at this point. Her body was found in rural Osceola County on March 1st. Stearns, her boyfriend, the boyfriend of Madeline's mother, was charged with her murder on April 24th, nearly 2 months after she was first reported missing. He currently remains in custody. In an update from the state's attorney's office this week, prosecutors are seeking the death penalty in this case, and should he be convicted. The new documents obtained by Fox 35 reveal how close Madeline and Stearns were and other potentially disturbing details about the relationship. On the day after the teen was reported missing, detectives met with Stearns and conducted an extensive interview with him to determine the timeline of events from the day prior. Stearns alleges that he dropped Madeline off at the church near Hunter Creek Middle School in Orange County on the morning of February 26. During the interview, it was discovered that Stearns had driven all around Orange and Osceola County that day. He alleges that he went to McDonald's to get breakfast. Madeline then changes their mind and goes to a smoke shop. We also heard, I'll tell you something else I heard. Stefan told detectives that Madeline was a very good girl who brought a lot of joy. God, that makes me sick to hear. I can't even read that. The girl knows nothing but love here. I can't even read that. Stearns also said that he's the person Madeline goes to when she and her mother get into fights and needs someone to comfort. I can't even read that. I don't know how much of this article I can read. It turns my stomach. It really does. It turns my stomach. I heard that Jennifer Soto told her daughter that when she turns 18, she's going to disown her. I kind of went to bat for Jennifer Soto because I didn't believe a mom could do this, and I wanted to be sure because she lost her daughter, right? And I believe Stefan Stearns is the predator and preyed upon her mother. I no longer believe that. I no longer believe that. I think that there is enough supporting information here. But with these cases, I've got to know because I've talked to enough survivors of HT as well as ST. And, that really identifies the grooming process for me. And so I understand that a little more than maybe people that just read about it because I heard, I've talked to many survivors. We've hosted a survivor at one of our public meetings, when we were raising money for a cause in Manatee County. And so I've heard stories, and I understand that these kids, one of two things happen. They think it's normal. They're raised that it's normal, and they don't talk about it because you just don't talk about that. But, everybody else is doing it. So they don't know it's wrong. So if they don't know it's wrong, they're not thinking anything about it. The other thing is the terror. That's another thing, is the terror aspect of it. And it seemed to me that Stefan had carried a weapon with him at all times, it sounds like. That's got to be terrifying for a little girl, terrifying for a little girl that's probably seen him brandish it, to himself or to her own mother. And I have to think that there was a lot of contention in this household. And it sounds to me like a lot of people, like my mom, she was wanting to smack me upside the head and saying, the mom knows, the mom knows, the mom knows. But I'm sorry. There's just a piece of me that wanted to be sure before I went after a mother of a child of this type of crime. I'm sorry. You're going to, just like when I go after a parent, you have to prove to me that this is the right parent, right? Just like that, you got to prove, I have to be cautious because this is a mom. I didn't want a situation like a Seth Rogers situation happening. So I was very ultra cautious. When it comes to girls and it comes to predators, I'm very cautious because I know how manipulative these predators are and how manipulative they are with the parents and how they will convince them. And then you add mental illness for the female, and he has a way of just mind effing her. And so I was wondering if it's that. But when you hear a mother tell her own daughter that's only 13 and just turned 13 that she can't wait until she's 18 to disown her, yeah, now you got my attention. Now you've got my attention. So Jen is, I don't know why she's not in jail at this point if she allowed this to happen. And it sounds like she allowed them. I don't understand how to think of it any other way. Was she like Katie's mom? Katie Proudfoot's mom. I mean, now I want to ask the questions. Now that I have what I need to make my decision, now I have lots and lots of questions. Lots and lots of questions. She might have been part of the lion's den, is what I'm saying. She might have blamed her daughter. A lot of women in here were saying that she would blame her daughter. And I was like, I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it. I surely did not. But you know what? The bottom line is I wanted to make sure for myself before I attack a mother of a child that has been treated like this. And I wanted, even when I was looking at this and looking, I could find negligence. We were building it. I'm still not going to attack this woman because she made a few mistakes and something like this happened. But now that we have more information, like almost 1,000 pages, now I want to know why those 1,000 pages were released without handcuffs on Jennifer Soto. Just saying. She absolutely put her daughter in harm's way. People are now actually talking about whether or not Maddie is pregnant or was pregnant at the time of her death. I know it was brought up before, but it makes you just wonder. Did this happen inside the house, and how much does Jen know? I want to know now. I want to know. I heard she was meeting with Jose Baez. That was, and it was concerning. But you know what? As soon as she handed those ashes over to Tyler, the father, and she had to do it through an attorney, I knew she was going to be going to jail. And I even said that. I said that in a live on the case, that I think that she's going to be going to jail, and she knows she's going to be going to jail. See, everybody thinks that law enforcement just sneak. When they're doing an investigation, they keep you fully apprised. And they usually keep you apprised if you're cooperating and don't and you're not going to be in fear of them, you running or something. They will even tell you that you should expect charges coming. They'll say it just like that. Some of these cases they may not, but I've heard cops tell people, myself with my own ears, we're investigating this, but I can guarantee by the time we're done with this, there's going to be charges. So you might want to get an attorney. So I don't know. I've heard him say it myself. So I don't know if that's what's going on here or not, but she should, in my opinion, but if they keep her out of jail, there's one or two things happening, even if they feel they have enough to charge her. Maybe three things that could be happening. They're trying to work on a plea deal with her and keeping her out while they work on this plea deal, as long as she's being truthful and forthcoming, because nobody really wants to throw a mom in jail if she didn't have anything to do with it. Okay, if she was just a neglecting mom, overlooking mom. But I don't know that, because my stepdaughter, not my stepdaughter, not the one that lived with me, but her sister and her sister's twin brother were from a different father. So it wasn't Vince's kids, but he raised the two twins from 6 months on up. So they were kind of like his kids. But Jessica, she was fighting on the phone with her. Well, you know what? I won't tell this story. I won't tell this story right now. It's a long story, but she made an accident. She loved her kid. She's never hurt her kid. She's never abused her child. Something happened, and she ended up going to jail for it because of her mistake, because she should have been paying attention and she was not. And she had to do, I think, like 2 years, and they gave her a light sentence because she was so remorseful. But she ended up having 2 years, and I think it was 5 or 10 years of probation she was required to stay on for that. And so it was very sad. It was truly an accident, but she had to pay the price for her mistake. It was her mistake, and somebody got hurt really bad because of it. So she had to pay for that. And so does Jen. So does Jen. Her daughter was hurt gravely. Her daughter doesn't get to see tomorrow. Her daughter was abused from the age of 8 years old. Like, how does a poor little body even handle something like that at such a tiny little and tender age of 8? I just don't, I don't understand. I think it's disgusting. It turns my stomach. It turns my stomach. There's nothing gratifying about that. There's nothing, it's disgusting. And the people that fantasize about it are disgusting. There's something wrong with them. There's something seriously wrong with them. Anyways, guys, we'll leave on that. There's a lot going on in both the cases that started out on February 26th. I wish Sebastian Rogers' case was as far along as the Madeline Soto case, but it's not. So we're just going to keep fighting with it and fighting at it and keep searching. The good news is it's hunting season. I hear hunting season is starting up, and we can pray to God. All the hunters that are going to be in the woods of Tennessee, all across the state this year for the hunting season. Please, as you're hunting and you're being careful, if you see any ground that is loose, anything that looks like it's a burial site, anything that's out of place, this will be, in my opinion, in some dense brush, because Chris's arms are all scratched up. Unless he had to go through thick brush to get to the construction site. I don't know. And when did those, I'd like to know whether he had those scratches on him before or after Sebastian's disappearance. Oh, we know it's after Sebastian's disappearance, but you know what I mean. All right, guys, I'm tired. Oh, I need my coffee. I need more coffee. I need to go make more coffee. Actually, this is full. I just haven't been drinking it. I need to drink more coffee. I believe this baby girl's mom knew. I know you guys. You guys were telling me, but you know me. I just, if I were to attack a mother of a deceased child and she was a victim, I would never have heard the end of it. I would, other channel creators can do that without backlash, but if it's here on this channel will be torn apart because of the animals out here on these streets. Now I have justification to take a semi truck and ram it through her freaking nose, so there's that. But I had to be sure before I do. We'll see what we come up with. We need to find her. She's loose in the community. She's loose in the community. Anybody that sees Jennifer Soto out in Kissimmee, Orange County, or Osceola County, please, please, please let me know where she's at. If you know where she's staying, let me know where she's staying. This is only a couple hours from me. I've been aching to get out. I'd like to run into the lady, just ask her a few questions, see if she'll be willing to talk to me maybe. Just saying. Would love to have a chat. All right, guys, I love you. God bless. See you probably later this afternoon. I'll be dropping this video. We'll premiere it. What time is it now? It's going to be a couple hours. It's going to take me a couple hours. So 9, 10, 11. So I'm thinking around 11. I'll drop the live, and then I'll drop the premiere, and then we'll go live around 2, maybe 3, and then we'll do another one about 8. We'll probably do one over on crime stories right after the drop of the video. So after 11, it's going to be a little over an hour. So a little afternoon will be on the crime story side, just chatting and chit-chatting and going through some emails and just conversating. We're going to be doing a style like this afternoon because we're trying to find some information. So anybody that wants to help, go start freshening yourself up on this case. We're talking about, we're keeping it to the mid 9 to 7 a.m. We're staying in there right now. We're trying to figure out how the scent got over to the construction site and the dumpster. That's kind of where the focus is, but we're talking about the lying. We're talking about the light phenomenons inside the house, the light phenomenons on the outside of the house, the light sources, the people, who was there, who couldn't have been there. We're talking about all of that. So any of that's fine. Any of that's on the table for this afternoon on Crime Stories. So we just want to have a conversation. We all need to get to the facts. We need to address the facts and build upon the facts. All right, guys, I will see you soon. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Bye.